Sup everyone, Darkscream217 here, and I'm going to do another set of vlogs over the weekend. They're not going to be all uploaded at once though. They might be uploaded throughout the weekend until maybe Monday. But I will hope to get that Captain Tyler review out as well. But I'm going to start things off with Persona 4 Golden. Now, in a video I made a couple weeks ago, I actually said that Persona 4 Golden is my 2012 Game of the Year. I even made a tweet about it on my Twitter account saying that too. Now, originally, I wanted to talk about Persona 4 Golden months ago, sometime late 2012, early 2013, maybe around January, February at the latest. And I was going to do it with Magus X1 in a podcast on his channel with me, him, and a third person. I think it was Happy Console Gamer, I'm not entirely sure. But due to scheduling conflicts and Magus being busy, we never got around to making the video. I don't know if he's still up for it, and if he is, then I will still join with him on that. But until then, I'm just gonna say that the idea's been scrapped until he, comes out and says, "Hey, no, I still want to do this if you're still up for it." And I'll repeat myself again on his channel if I want to. But for now, I'm just going to talk by myself on why I thought this was my personal 2012 Game of the Year. So the reason why I call Persona 4 Golden my 2012 Game of the Year, what made this decision a little easier for me was the fact that I never tried out Persona 4 prior to that year. But I know the game, the PlayStation 2 game, Persona 4, was I think it's 4 years old at the time. Now it's like 5. But I never tried the games out because I particularly did not really care much about them because I don't like JRPGs all that much. But in that same year, Persona 4 Arena came out for the consoles, and it was co-developed by Arc System Works, who made both Guilty Gear and BlazBlue, two franchises I pretty much enjoy, and I really love Guilty Gear Double X, or X2, or however you like to call it. So I was willing to give the fighting game a chance, just to see if it's any good. And it was a really fun game, I enjoyed it. I also really liked the characters that were in the game, the lore and all that stuff, and I was thinking, maybe I could at least try the game out for the story, though I've heard the Shin Megami Tensei games were always rather difficult, so I was still hesitant on the idea. But I found a copy of Persona 4 for the PlayStation 2 eventually, decided to pick it up and played it, and then for like 2 weeks I marathoned that game and I freaking loved it. And I even decided to check out Persona 3 FES, and I liked it, just not as much as Persona 4, mostly because of the gameplay mechanics. I actually like to have control over every single party member instead of just one, and just giving just straight up orders instead of actually give them specific commands. And then during all this, I heard that they're making a remake of Persona 4 for the PlayStation Vita, and I'm thinking to myself, is it going to be worth it if I buy a Vita just for this sole individual game? I mean, I've heard mixed things about it, mostly negative. Magus said he liked it, but he likes almost everything when it comes to video games. I mean, it's really hard to displease that guy. But on the week when it came out, I picked up the physical copy of a game, which is in these little tiny chip things, they're not CDs, which is really interesting, if I do say so myself. And then I picked up the Vita. I picked up a white PS Vita that came with Assassin's Creed Liberation, because that one came with a memory card, and that bundle versus the Black Ops bundle, and I've heard really bad things about the Black Ops game, but I've heard some moderate things about the Assassin's Creed Liberation game. It's like, this one got better scores, I'll pick up that game. On a side note, Assassin's Creed 3 Liberation, pretty glitchy. There were some weird game-breaking glitches that I did not enjoy at all from that game. But anyways, back to Persona 4 Golden. One of my favorite features of this game, I'm actually going to show you physically. Here's the clip that I recorded a couple of weeks ago in order to prep for this video.
Some criticisms about the game is that some of the scenes drag on for too long, especially the beginning of the game. It takes you about a few hours in before you get to the tutorial fight. As a result, you're just going to have to sit through the same scenes that you probably saw over and over again. It kind of lessens replay value. It would for me if I were to play this again on the PlayStation 2. However, here's one beautiful feature that I love. Alright, see, I have the game set up right here. And this is actually early in the beginning of the game. This is like right before the tutorial fight. But watch what I can do here to avoid all this. That's right. You can fast forward through the cutscenes and it saves you a shitload of time. You have no idea how much I love that feature.
And I really do like that feature because it heightens replay value for me. Usually what would prevent me from playing the game over and over again is the fact that there are some cutscenes and cinematics that aren't directly skippable. You could try to fast forward through it by holding the triangle button or tapping the X button, but it would still take a good while. And like I said earlier, the opening to Persona 4 is pretty freaking long. However, with that new skip feature, it can shorten everything down, and altogether, my first playthrough of Persona 4 Golden was roughly 37 hours, and the game on average, at least the PlayStation 2 version, was about 60 to 80 hours long. So if I just want to explore the social links I haven't gotten to yet, or if I just want to get to the parts where I'm just battling in the dungeons or mixing personas together, there you go. I can just skip almost all through all that shit and straight to the parts I want to get into. Another feature in the game that kind of fixes a problem I didn't know existed in the first place, and this as well as another thing I'm going to address is regarding Persona Fusion system, is that they added a fusion search mode. What it does is that it takes a look at what your existing persona roster you have at your disposal and shows you all the possible outcomes based on the personas you have, which makes it really easy for me, because if I'm trying to find a particular persona, if I want to get my hands on Thor, instead of having to like go to the fusion and just select 2 or 3 different types of personas and see what are the possible results, it just shows me what I can gather from showing me in the search system. So it's like, oh, it looks like I do have some personas to fuse Thor together. Fuse, click, boom, Thor! Yay! Another feature regarding Fusion Search is that you can actually choose which skills from the 2 fused personas that get to carry over to your newest persona that you're about to create. It doesn't sound like a big deal at first for people who haven't played the game, but trust me, it's fucking helpful. Especially if you're trying to max out Margaret's social link. She wants personas with particular skills, and it was kind of a pain in the ass in the PlayStation 2 version. For example, she wants a persona by the name Ippodatara with the skill Sukukaja, which I think it's a buff or debuff spell of some sort. I can't specifically remember which one it is. Possibly a buffer spell. But anyways, originally you would have the 2 personas that could create Ippodatara, but then you may or may not have the skill carried over. It will show you the results before you actually commence the fusion process, so if he does have that skill carryover, good. If not, you would have to like click circle and then click X again just to see if see if the skill's there now. If not, just rinse, lather, repeat until Sukukaja shows up. You don't have to do that with Persona 4 Golden. If you want Sukukaja carried over, you will have the option to do so. You will have the option to like move either 3 to like 5 different skills over, and boom. And that's been very helpful and convenient for me, because I always like to use defense debuff spells against bosses particularly. They also added 2 new social links, which I'm trying not to go into heavy detail with because some of them are spoiler heavy, and those social links actually determine a new outcome for the ending of the game. But one of the social links actually makes a reference to the Hayam Daisy parody comic of Persona 4. That was really interesting. They also have some new personas to check out, obviously, and there's even a new dungeon with one of them too, so that was that was pretty fun. It added more hours to the game. Um, yeah, yippee. Other new stuff they added, well, they added more cutscenes, more situations, like the gang gets to go to a beach, they all get to ride scooters, save for a few party members. You can go see a movie with one of the members, and that would have an increase on their persona stats. You can also get some new alternate costumes for your party members, and the beauty of that is that unlike Persona 3, the costumes don't affect their stats, they're just for decoration only, and you could still wear it separate from the armor. So so I thought that was an awesome feature. And they have like a ton of alternate costumes for each character. They got costumes where they dress up in tuxedos. They got costumes that make them dress up like the Men in Black. I shit you not. You can also dress them up to wear those big goofy gag glasses that are part of a joke early in the game where Yukiko wears them, all of a sudden she's busting out laughing. You can even dress them up in the Gekkoukan high school uniforms, which is the uniforms from Persona 3, and I've heard that they actually do some poses and animations based off of the party members of Persona 3. I'm not sure yet, I haven't unlocked them yet. I will get around to unlocking them on my second playthrough. Hope it's worth it. And you can even dress them up in a Super Sentai-esque team called Neo Featherman, and that's what I've been mostly dressing them up at the end of the game. And when they do, they actually do crazy Super Sentai poses and quotes as well, so that was a whole lot of fun. But there's also a gallery mode where you can view all the anime cutscenes, and you can also listen to the music. There's also a trivia mode, a trivia game mode, where Teddy's the host and you compete against Yosuke, Chie, and Yukiko answering questions regarding the game. There's also some footage from the Persona concerts. That was interesting that they will put that in the game as well. They've also did some tweaking and balancing for the game. Shadow Yukiko is now weakened by ice, so she's a lot easier to take down. And they've also added 2 extra difficulty settings, a very easy mode and an extremely, oh my god, why the fuck did I go this route, this is super fucking hard, no really, this is hard, I'm gonna die, hard mode. And after you beat the game once, you can actually customize the difficulty setting, meaning that you can actually change certain statistics throughout the game. You're gonna be like, well, I do want the enemies to be tougher, but I hate grinding a whole lot, so make the enemies tougher, but I also want to earn more experience after each battle. A feature like that is also very helpful if all you want to do is just build up your Persona roster, because Personas can be pretty expensive in the Velvet Room. And I've mentioned that the voice actors for Teddy and Chie were replaced. They've been replaced since Persona 4 Arena onward, which didn't bug me at all, but this is why I'm bringing this up. I've actually seen people whine and complain about Chie's voice actress specifically, almost completely disregarding the rest of the game just because of her. Yeah, never mind the countless features I mentioned in this game that basically enhance a 60 to 80 hour game by an extra 10 to 20 hours. No, forget all that. Forget all those nice things. Forget all the improvements they made over Persona 4. All that shit gets thrown out the window because Naz from Ed, Edd n Eddy is now the voice of Chie, and that game is ruined forever. So that is my little mini tangent. I was definitely going to do something like that on the supposed podcast that we were probably going to have, but since that may never happen, I got to get it out elsewhere, and I thought now would be the good time. Another feature I want to mention before I wrap everything up is that the game does allow online connectivity, but it has some really unusual things with it. Not that they're bad. I really like the voice system that they have in the game. See, what it does is that if you are like in the middle of the day, you're not venturing in the dungeon or anything, you get to click on that button and it shows you how everyone else played the game or how everyone else spent the particular day in that game, which could really help you out with schedule management and whatnot. Very interesting feature. So when you click on the button, there's going to be a bunch of like speech bubbles coming out, and some of them will say, well, I've hanged out with Yosuke, or I've hanged out with Chie, or I've gone fishing. I'm like, well, I guess I'm going to hang out with Chie, dink, dink, and there you go. So I thought that was a really interesting feature that they put in the game. So those are my thoughts on Persona 4 Golden, or that's all the features on it that helped enhance the experience of an already great game. And this is coming from a guy who played both the original PS2 version and Golden practically side by side. I'm definitely gonna replay Persona 4 Golden sometime again this year, but I am in the middle of Persona 3 Portable, which I decided to go and check out because in that game, you get to play as a woman. And yeah, that does change the gameplay experience a little, playing as her. Not to mention, if the Persona 3 Portable in general fixed a lot of problems I had with Persona 3 FES for the PlayStation 2. But as soon as I get done completing that game, I'm definitely going back to Persona 4 Golden. As for the PlayStation Vita itself, it's a good handheld. I've been playing a handful of games for it. I've even been playing on some old PlayStation 1 PSP titles that I never got around to playing. Currently in the middle of Corpse Party Book of Shadows. I plan to get Guilty Gear Axie Core Plus R for it. I also have BlazBlue Continuum Shift Extend for it. Yeah, I'm enjoying it. I really like the handheld. I don't hate it like everyone else does, but yeah. So that's all I got to say. What are your thoughts? Leave a comment if you wish. Darkscream217 signing out, and I hope to make more videos soon.